Good morning. So I'm going to start with what I have when I first wake up in the morning. So now it's 7 o'clock. I woke up because I have to take my little pup out, so I have to make sure I'm up. And the first thing I do is have coffee. Now, I don't eat breakfast right away when I wake up. I just like to have my coffee, and then in a little while I have breakfast. So in my glass right now, I have 2 packets of Equal. I use this sugar-free Italian sweet cream creamer, which is thebomb.com. Like, oh my gosh, it is so good. And in my coffee, I'll put about 1 ounce. If you notice, my cup is already on my scale. So I only put an ounce in. I love, if you ever do Weight Watchers, I love weighing my stuff because I feel like it gets so accurate. And it's a lot less cleanup than, like, measuring tools. So I really enjoy that. And then I'm going to use my Starbucks Blonde Roast iced coffee now. If you're like, wow, this girl's like super bougie. She's buying like Starbucks iced coffee. Well, I'll tell you why I did it. Because I was spending so much freaking money on coffee in the morning before school, or just now, like I would get up and then go run to Dunkin' and come back. Like, no girl, no girl. So I found this solution, which is awesome. It's 0 points, so I just throw it right with my creamer and my Equal, and it is amazing. So my coffee, I don't measure. I just pour it right in my glass. Don't really care how much. And then I'll leave room for some ice, because I love ice with my iced coffee. I don't know why. It's a thing. I mean, I keep this in the fridge, so I don't know why I'm being a weirdo. But yeah, so that is my coffee, and I will probably have another one with my breakfast. It is breakfast time, and as you can see, my coffee stuff is out again because I like to have another cup of coffee when I eat my breakfast. In this bowl, I have 2 egg whites and 1 egg. So I just separate the yolk from the egg white, and I have double egg whites with 1 whole egg. I really like doing that. On Weight Watchers, it ends up being just 2 points because only the whole egg with the yolk counts, and the 2 egg whites is 0 points. If I had another egg white, it'd be 1 point, but that's still okay. I'm not super hungry, so I'm not really worried about it. I like to put these mixed vegetables in here. I only put about an ounce of the frozen mixed vegetables, blah, 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 and I just throw them right in my eggs. I really like doing this because it fills up the eggs, it bulks them up a little bit, and I really enjoy that. So I'm going to put 1 ounce of the frozen vegetables right into the egg. Along with the frozen vegetables, I like to do my fat-free cheddar. I actually just opened this bag, just got it. There's nothing better than opening up a new bag of shredded cheese. I don't know about you, but it's awesome. And I can have about a half an ounce, and it's no points, which is really awesome. But sometimes you want a little more cheese, so you put more in. Let me just turn on my scale. I'm going to put a half an ounce of this, just so I get some cheese in my eggs, and then I'm going to put the vegetables in. So after all is said and done, here is my 1 ounce of frozen mixed vegetables, and my half an ounce of shredded cheddar cheese with my eggs, and I just put them right all in this bowl, and then I'll just mix it together. I'm going to add a little sea salt. I really love this salt, and I love when I go to Costco and you can just buy like the big container of it, because I like buying the big container so I don't have to buy it often. So I'm just putting a little salt in there. So there's my second cup of coffee in my, beer glass, but that's okay. And here are my eggs cooking. They look so good. I love doing this in the morning. It is so quick. Now, please keep in mind, this is my no school, can get up and make breakfast. Alright, so now that my omelet is all done, I put it on my plate with some grapes. And now I'm just going to measure out some ketchup because I like ketchup on my eggs. And when I measure out my ketchup, I actually change the unit. So all my other stuff has been in ounces, but my ketchup is in grams because I like to do, less than 10. I like to make sure I do less than 10 grams. And that looks like 7. So that's the amount of ketchup I'm going to put on it, and I'm going to dive right in to my breakfast. So I will see you back for lunch. Like I said before, I am a leftovers for lunch kind of girl, so whatever I made last night for dinner is what I'll usually have for lunch. And that is even if I'm working, because I have a part-time job over the summer, so I work part-time. Even if I'm working or whatever the situation may be, I just really prefer leftovers, so that's why I make a little bit more than usual. So now this looks like a lot of food, but it's actually not. So this right here is my cauliflower fried rice. So I buy the pre-riced cauliflower, so usually the frozen one. I mix it with some soy sauce and some more of those mixed vegetables, the frozen ones. So I mix some of those in there also. And as you can see, I have some egg whites. So I scramble up some egg whites and I put it right with all the other ingredients. And I don't really have like a method to this madness here. I just kind of eye it, and whatever it seems like is good with the soy sauce. Eggs, I put 3 egg whites. And for the vegetables, I put 1 cup of the mixed frozen vegetables. And then the cauliflower rice, I just use the whole bag. So right here, it looks like a hardcore chicken cutlet, but it's not that bad for you either. So I have the chicken breast, and I used coconut flour. I use whole wheat breadcrumbs, and I used egg whites. So I use about a half a cup of breadcrumbs, and that covers probably 3 to 4 chicken breasts. And I use probably 1/4 cup of coconut flour, being about 5 smart points each, which they're really filling, so I'm not that upset about it. And for a cup of the cauliflower rice, because the mixed vegetables have like peas and corn in it, I just prefer that mixed vegetable option. That whole cup is about 2 points, but mixed in with the cauliflower. So the cauliflower for 1 whole cup, the way I make it, turns out to be 2 points for a whole cup. And I will see you guys later for dinner. I'm thinking barbecue. Yeah, I'm thinking barbecue. So for dinner, I'm going to have some Weight Watcher recipe burgers. So I have my meat here. We usually buy meat in bulk and then just kind of divvy it up. So I have a pound of meat here. It calls for 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. I'm sorry if I butcher that. It calls for 2 teaspoons of minced garlic, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, and I just decided to put some onions in here. As you can see, I'm lazy AF, and I buy the pre-cut. Now, obviously, you don't have to buy pre-cut, but I'm lazy, and especially during the school year, like the last thing I want to be bothered with is cutting up vegetables. I'm not really like the cooking type, so that's probably where this all derives from, so just let it happen. So here is all my ingredients in the bowl. Got some onion, salt, pepper, minced garlic, and the Worcestershire sauce. And then you just mix it all together. So all I did was mix it all together and then split it up into 5 different patties. Now the recipe called for 4, but I thought I could get 5 out of it. As you know, I do like to have leftovers for my lunch, so I'll probably have 1, and then my boyfriend will probably have, 2, maybe 3. But it's good to have an extra so I can have it for lunch. So again, in the whole idea of me being lazy, which I'm sure I'm not the only one, my supermarket sells these big containers of fresh cut vegetables, which is so awesome. So what I do is I just take them all, just kind of like break them apart a little bit because sometimes they could be stuck together. I rinse it under water first, and then I just put it all in a bowl. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some soy sauce on it. Now I have the low sodium soy sauce. Anybody else all about that pre-minced garlic life? And while I wait for my boyfriend to get home and we can start cooking, I like to snack on strawberries. So what I do is when I buy the containers of strawberries, as soon as I get home, I immediately cut them up and put them in a big container like this. They last longer and they're way easier to eat. I'll do the same thing with blueberries. I'll clean them out of the container and put them in a nice big Tupperware like this. So I can just snack on them kind of whenever I want. So I'm going to be snacking on some strawberries, which are 0 points on Weight Watchers. Easy snack. And catch up on some YouTube.